Here we got a antique trailer. What we're going to be doing on this trailer, we have a problem with the parking brakes, which is when you pull the buttons on the dash, it sets the parking brakes. Or if you lose air pressure, it stops the air from coming into this glad hand, which is supposed to lock the brakes down. Well, the problem with that system is back here by the wheels, or tandems or slider, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, there's two hoses hanging down here. One is for, like I said, service brakes, which apply the brakes when you step on the brake pedal. The other one is the emergency or the service side, which has constant air in it when you have everything aired up. Well, I was under this yesterday. I discovered that the hose for the service side is leaking. Now, I don't know about the service side, but the emergency side, side is the one that was leaking. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this hose off that goes from here into here, and that way we can go ahead and replace the hose because it is dry rotted and it's leaking up in there at the spring. So those are what we're going to be doing to this trailer. So this trailer actually has working brakes. So when you park it at a dock, the brakes apply, and when they're going in and out of the trailer, usually with a forklift, it doesn't try and slide away from the dock. If they're not going in and out with a forklift and they're just hand loading, in other words, picking the stuff up by hand and taking it in to the trailer using a pallet jack, even if the trailer don't have brakes, it normally won't walk away from the dock. Well, roll away from the dock. We call it walk. And that's because the landing gear there for that situation normally will hold it. But also another situation is when you go to hook up to it, the landing gear is too high, and when you go underneath the trailer, if it picks up on the landing gear where it comes off the ground and there's no brakes, the trailer has a tendency to go backwards, and you have trouble getting into the pin, and hopefully there's nothing behind it. Then some people will stop and crank the landing gear so the trailer comes up high enough where it won't do that. Other people do what they call chasing the trailer. They'll just pull up a little bit and get a little bit of a running start, ram underneath it. That's not the best thing to do, because I mean, eventually doing that enough times, you're going to break something, whether you're going to start breaking the fifth wheel plate, and it's that plate there that the pin is actually in. If it's rusty, you could actually break, or you may break your own fifth wheel. You may break a spring or something inside the fifth wheel. Plus, it gives you a pretty good jar when you do something like that, because you're not hitting the brakes until after you're locked in and you're coming under at a little bit of a speed. And when you do hit, you hear a big clunk. It actually jars everything on the truck. And if your seat's too close, say you got day cab and you're too close to the back window, you could actually break the back window. I have seen that happen, chasing a trailer and then finally clicking into the pin and the back window breaks out of the day cab. But anyways, that's what we're going to do here today. As you can see, I got the line off, so all I got to do there is go to the parts store, get line to go up there to where we're going to put this blue glad hand, and then I'm going to go ahead and take that other line off, and all that involves is a couple wrenches. Seeing how spring's already broke, I'll probably do something like a heavy wire tie to hook that spring back up. Like, oh, this is a Feihoff, by the way. Like I said, this is a storage trailer, and this customer actually has his trailers sitting at customers normally for years. Matter of fact, where I picked this one up, I think he said it had been sitting there for over 5 years. So his trailers don't move very often. I just applied air to the emergency side. I already shut the truck off, so it'll be as quiet as possible. I'm hoping you can hear this. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unscrew it from there, and we'll follow the line around. It's on this side, so I'll unscrew it there, and I'll get it out of this clamp some way, somehow. Chances are I'm probably going to have to cut the line to get it out of here. So at that point, then I'll just reattach it to this bar. And there is still one spring hooked up, but I'll go ahead and I'll take this one and bring it back over here somewhere and reattach it. So somebody already has wire up here I may just leave that alone, seeing how they got it wired up. But that's all I'm going to do here is cut this line right here at the clamp so I can pull it out, unscrew it there, unscrew it up there, and then I'll have the line to take with me to the parts store so I can get a new line. In the last video, I went ahead on this trailer and fixed the blue service line glad hand, or put one on, and go back and watch that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here, I showed you earlier about the airline leaking. I have tried everything I could to get this fitting and this fitting out. And no matter what I do, I even put pipe wrenches on them, trying to get the nuts to break loose. They will not come loose. So what I'm going to do, this one here is going to be fairly easy. I'm just going to take a grinder with a cutoff wheel, cut as close to this as I can, and that way I'll have this hole, and I'm going to just go ahead and use a wire tie, plastic tie, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to connect the new line to here. Wire tie it to here, and then what I'm going to do, I got enough line to do this, run it all along this line here so it's the same length, just in case in the future these tandems have to be slid back, because right now the wheels are as far forward as they can go. As you can see, right here's the stop, and right here's the tandem almost hitting it. It can't go but maybe an inch further, then it wouldn't be lined up with a hole to lock in. As you can see, that pin sticking out. There is no more holes in front of that pin. So they really can't safely travel down the road any further forward. But someday in the future, a customer may require him to slide the tandems back, so I want to have enough line to where that can happen. So I'm just going to tie the brand new line that I have right there. I'm going to go ahead and tie it in here. Like I said, wire tie it here, and then wire tie it all along the existing rubber hose. And if I can get this drilled out or cut out, whatever, and then I'll put some hose around a new line and send it through here. Or if there's enough room right here at this hole, I'll put a rubber grommet in there and send the line through. I'm not sure which way that's going to happen yet. I'll go ahead and show you the end result. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bore you with sitting here and watching for the next hour or so while I'm doing all this. But that's what my plan is, and I'll show you the end result, and I'll tell you if there is any changes. This is what I've done. I went ahead and put a coupler right there at the old line. I couldn't get those fittings out, so that one there, I just went ahead and I cut it out. That one there, I was going to drill it all out, but after I got a big hole in it, I just figured I could put the line through that. And what I also did, so the line wouldn't get cut by any sharp metal, inside the fitting that I drilled out, I used a round file, and I just filed all the way in there and stuck my little finger in there, make sure there was no bare pieces of metal. Now granted, I could have sliced my little finger up if there was, but I was real careful so it won't slice into this plastic line. And then I just went ahead and attached it to the plastic line on the other side of that cross member in the slider, and then I just wire tied it to the rubber hose all the way to here. And then up here on this bar there's an eye, so seeing how the eye is smooth inside, I just went ahead and stuck it through that eye, and then I wire tied it there, and then put the coupler there onto that line. So it's all hooked up, and if the tandems ever have to be slid back, there's plenty of line here to allow that to happen, and there's still a spring attached here that will help go ahead and let them slide. And if it comes down to the point where they have to slide all the way back and there isn't enough, there's a piece of wire that they wired up here, and it's thin enough where the wire there will probably snap and continue if it needs to. But that's the end of this part of the job. I appreciate you watching this whole thing. I'm trying to do better on these videos, and everybody have a better day, and keep an eye out for the next video. And one of the reasons I'm not putting them out like I was is because I have trouble finding internet where I can actually upload to YouTube because I have to do everything off the cell. Thank you.